Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video. It is hot and steamy here in North Carolina today, but I have one of the most incredible things to share with you. You join us at our track in North Carolina, not doing anything super track related in this video. However, we have the coolest thing that just showed up. My buddy Paul drove from Florida with his Hummer EV and his mobile DC fast charger. This is the Charge Rigs 120 kilowatt DC charger. However, it's not fed from the grid. Yes, of course, it has to be recharged from the grid, but that is because this is a battery pack powered DC charger. So it has a 120 kilowatt hour battery pack in there with 120 kilowatt output, and Paul is crazy enough to let us borrow this thing for at least a year, which is so cool of them. So this is our new and our own mobile DC fast charger, of which you can imagine what we're able to do with it. Running cars to dead in range tests, interesting testing things out on track. We can actually run a racing series off of this trailer, and of course it is so needed because it's going to take a few months to get our hardwired DC chargers installed here at the facility in North Carolina, that this is just going to get worked hard all the time. So in this video, I'm going to tell you guys how to use it. I'm going to learn about it. We're going to take a look at the trailer, the actual operating procedures. We're then of course going to try it, and then maybe we'll even tow it around a little bit with the Hummer and see how it does. I feel like we have to do a lap with the Hummer towing the trailer. Maybe not full send, but probably not far away from full send, just to double check that the trailer can hold up. So tons of fun things to do in this episode. Paul's going to walk us through everything. This is just a dream come true. Well, guys, check out this sick Hummer EV. Paul just towed up from Florida with this thing, and that was one heck of a trip that he did. Now, I've actually seen this trailer before. Some of you who watch some of our charging related content on this channel, I first saw this charger, I think at EVCS in Las Vegas, and Paul also towed from Florida out there, charging the truck off this battery pack and then recharging both at DC chargers. I thought it was such a cool idea. And you know, we've recently played around with the Spark Charge DC fast charging trailer, and it was super cool of them to let us borrow it for a week while we were running the 5 grand fizz. That trailer weighs about twice as much as this one and was a little bit bigger. Super cool to have that for the fizz, but you know, the guys at Charge Rigs saw that we were using the Spark Charge trailer, and they're like, you know what you really need? You need a Charge Rig trailer. I'm like, hell yeah, competition in the space is great. Bring it up to North Carolina, let us play around with it. And they said, not only will we let you play around with it, you can borrow it for a year or whatever happens in the future. And I'm like, that is the coolest thing. So there's really no strings attached here. They were like, we'll tow it up to you, you'll keep it here. They might have dealers come and demo it at the facility. I'm like, anyone that wants to come, you know, from your side to come and check out the unit, feel free. And we just have such a need for mobile high power recharging. So maybe we can actually get the Spark Charge trailer back, do a little comparison test. Maybe there's some other mobile charging solutions out there as well. I'd love to put them all head to head and figure out what's the right one for everyone. But, oh, no way. I'm just noticing this for the first time. The guys at Charge Rigs actually even loaded up our logo on here for us, which is so cool. So we have an Out of Spec Studios logo on the Charge Rigs FLEXX. We have to ask Paul how to actually say that. Is it just Flex DC charger, FLEXX? Anyway, just getting a sense of the size and scale of this is very reasonable. The trailer weighs somewhere around 5,000 pounds, maybe a bit under. This is their smallest baby solution. They make a larger capacity battery with higher power output. I told Paul, I'm like, dude, we just kind of need to be able to top up cars 5 minutes on the side of the road and get them going. We don't need anything crazy. And if you want to keep your demo unit as the 300 kilowatt hour, 300 kilowatt output, I'm fine with the 120. And he said, that sounds great. I'll bring this up. So let's get Paul on camera. He's going to take us for a tour of this thing and we'll learn how to use it. I just am, you know, thrilled. This is a real need that we needed to find a solution for. And to me, this is sick. Also, I kind of think he should leave the Hummer behind as well, because that looks perfect towing this trailer. Let's go meet Paul. Guys, this is Paul. Paul, welcome to the channel.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks for coming up. Dude, I can't believe you drove this thing all the way up from Florida for us.
Yeah, well, you know, after you make a trip all the way to Las Vegas and back, this is a no-brainer. This is pretty
true.
Cool.
So how was it actually, before we get into the unit, how was it towing with the Hummer, you know, using chargers and stuff? How did that all work out?
Well, charging infrastructure is not very good, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you get into like South Carolina area and upper Georgia and all that kind of stuff. Those don't really work. If you're relying on the
the public networks.
Public networks, things like that. Yeah, it doesn't really work all that. But when you're traveling long distance and you got a charger on the back, it makes it much easier.
Yeah, you could actually run, you can almost play some games where you can see if you can stretch it to a charger, and if you can't, you could just plug
Absolutely. I will. I'll take it to 2-3 miles until the truck's like, stop, you know, and I'm like, nah, it's okay. And then I can pull over into a rest stop and just jackknife the truck a little bit, pull the cord out and charge away.
Dude, that is the coolest setup ever. I mean, it just looks so good towing this trailer, that Hummer. I mean, the spec on that is perfect, all blacked out. That's how I do a lot of my cars, just fully blacked out. Love it. Although
when we were looking at getting the truck, we were trying to figure out which one to be able to pull them around in, and that was the one that had the towing capacity and all that.
Yeah, so. I saw you also had a Silverado in some of your posts as well.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, that's Thomas's Silverado.
Cool.
Basically the same kind of truck, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's got a lot of the same features and stuff, so it pulls it no problem.
Love to see it. Love to see it. So tell us a little bit about the unit. First of all, how do you even say the name? Is it FLEXX or FLEXX?
Just FLEXX.
Just FLEXX.
Just FLEXX, right?
So it's the Charge Rigs FLEXX 120. That's its name.
Yep.
And what, you know, just high level.
Sure. Yeah. So I mean, so it's a battery operated DC charger. The FLEXX comes in 3 different sizes. You got the FLEXX 120, the FLEXX 200, and the FLEXX 300. That's depending upon how much battery is inside. So 120 has 120 kilowatt hours of battery.
Yep.
200 and 300.
So the batteries are where in this unit? Can we actually see them at all?
They're on the other side.
Okay, yeah. And then the 200 and 300, is it the same enclosure, just with more batteries in them? Oh, it is larger physically.
Yeah, much bigger. Yeah.
So you are using all the space available in them then. Damn, and that's perfect with the height of this ramp right here as well. Dang, look at that. So you've got, what type of batteries are these? Are these LFP cells or NMC?
These are LFPs.
Hell yeah, that's what we like to hear. Can see they're cooled in a sense, so everything's...
yeah, these are air cooled.
Air cooled, yeah.
Our next generation coming out, our Gen 2s, are liquid cooled.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you 120 kilowatt hours of usable capacity, right? So there is some buffers.
There is.
And
10%.
Okay, interesting. And do you recommend that we fully charge this all the time, or how would you want us to manage this?
All the way up, all the way down.
Okay, so
it's got built-in safety mechanisms to keep you in the range that you need.
You don't need to tell me twice. We'll use it hard then.
Okay, absolutely.
But for long-term storage, typically, like if we're going to be gone for a month or so, I imagine you don't want it at 100% for the whole month, maybe 50%?
Yeah, I actually 75, 80%, something like that. Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
That sounds good. We'll make sure to manage it there. I don't want to, obviously we got to give this back to you working. I don't want to damage it too hard. So,
but we want you to put it through the test. You know, I want to, you know, customers that get this, I want to make sure they feel comfortable using it, and I want it used. That's why, you know, when we took it all the way to Vegas or here, we're not avoiding potholes. We're not avoiding curbs. We're putting it to the test because I want to make sure it's a good, solid unit. Yeah,
maybe you can tell us a bit about the trailer on that topic. So you've got sort of these spider mag wheels. I love that you've actually gone through and even made the center caps with your logo. That's really good attention to detail. But you were telling me you guys designed this trailer specifically for the Charger.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we've designed the whole thing from ground up. Even the suspension, right? So the suspension is a Timbren suspension, so it's basically 4-wheel independent suspension there on that. We use it for vibration control, so you've got a lot of electronics on the inside, so we want as many levels of vibration control as possible, so we take care of about 70 to 80% of the vibration control through the Timbren suspension.
Yep.
And then underneath the unit itself, as it's getting put on top of the trailer, you've got vibration control there, and then directly underneath the skirt there's another layer of vibration control. So we've taken it to a whole new level, probably over-engineered, but that's the way I am.
Well, when we were on the phone the other day, you were telling me, like, when you first built this, you were driving crazy with the Hummer trying to see if this thing can hold up. And
absolutely. We put it through the test. I mean, we really put it through the test. I was hitting everything just to make sure if it's going to fail, I want it to fail during the R&D process, not when the units get into the field.
Well, you know, we're certainly going to do our best here to see how it holds up. I think before you leave today and before the end of the video, we at least got to do a lap with it. We don't need to go full send, but we need to set a time. So that'll be really fun.
Either.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
we can do it. It's got trailer brakes? Yes. Okay, nice.
All four.
Electric brakes.
Yep.
You can use the integrated brake controller.
You can. Yeah, you can.
What is the weight of all of this?
This one here is about 6,500 pounds.
Okay.
The 200s go up from there, and the 300s will max out at your 10,000. What we try to do is all of our trailers need to be bumper towed.
Yep.
And don't require CDL.
Love it.
That's the whole point. And also be able to park them in a Walmart parking space without taking multiple spaces.
Yeah, that's
the whole thing.
A real thing. You know, we've just played around with another battery DC charging trailer we were discussing earlier, and that trailer was great. It was just so heavy that we literally couldn't tow it with our Rivian R1S. This we can actually tow behind our R1S, which is really great.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, in our case, we really don't need more than 120 kilowatt hours for what we're doing. We're doing those quick top ups on the side of the road, which is pretty cool. I mean, just the way that you've laid out all of the interconnection points, it's really wonderful. Is this like a roughly 800 volt system architecture in here?
It is.
So pretty high voltage then.
Yeah.
And then the
800 to 1,000.
800 to 1,000.
Range.
Wow. So this is a pretty high voltage system here, which
Absolutely.
is cool. And was there any engineering challenges of keeping it isolated and stuff like that?
Yeah. Cooling.
Okay, interesting.
Cooling. That's why we got a big, you know, AC unit sitting on the side of that door there. That's what that's for.
Yeah. So this will chill the ambient air, which will then get sucked through the modules, right?
Yeah. It takes it. Yeah. This blows it out, and then the cooled air goes in the back, and it brings it back through the battery pack as it's being charged or discharging.
Very cool. So it's okay if we hear fans ripping on this thing, and that's to be
And
expected.
it's all controlled on the inside. It knows what temperature each thing is, what it's doing, and it'll control and turn on and off the fans as necessary.
So obviously you're experiencing it today. It's pretty hot right now, but it was even way hotter the last week or so, you know, touching 109, 110 ambient. You know, track temps get really up there.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about this thing. Okay.
No, we had it operating out in the desert. We had it operating out in Phoenix, Arizona, where the asphalt's kind of coming off on your shoe. And no problem.
Wow. Okay. Love to hear it. That's huge confidence. I can't wait to test it.
Yeah.
Let's close this up for now, actually. So this door goes first.
Yep. That one goes first.
Yep.
And just close this one up.
Okay.
And lock it down.
Very cool. So in terms
Now, when
of...
you are operating this, you want to make sure the doors are closed.
Okay. Right.
So
There's sensors.
As it's running, everything is controlled. You know, doors are shut and all that. That way, all the sensors work properly in the cooling.
Yeah, I noticed earlier when you opened this door, it immediately went to red, saying that it knew the door was open and to kind of shut down.
Correct.
The AC to DC, there wouldn't be any AC to DC rectifiers. It's just DC-DC buck boost to charge.
Yeah, you're charging DC to DC.
Yeah. So where are those modules located at?
Here.
Nice. So these are the actual power modules that would then charge the cars.
Yep, and then
stacked
on the
up.
other side.
Love to see it. That's super cool. Dude, the wiring in here is looking really nice. These really juicy bus bars.
That's Charge Rigs. So we have, you know, the engineering is, you know, pretty crazy. Got to make sure that's all done right, but we also do it with style. And we want to make sure that everything is done with style, whether it's the outside design, whether it's the inside, you know, all of that. It's also done for ease of use of maintenance. So the majority, 90% plus of all of the pieces and components inside of this unit, as well as our DC charger line, is all designed to be able to change out parts with a Phillips screwdriver and a couple of screws.
Amazing.
So, because I come from the maintenance end, you know, the engineering, the maintenance end, it's all about uptime. It's all about, you know, making sure that the charger remains up and availability and all of that stuff. So if something ever happens, you know, we send out a part, people change it out. It's no big deal.
It'll mostly be Sam changing it out.
There you go. You got a Phillips screwdriver? You're good to go.
That's all we need then. Great. We just need Sam and a screwdriver.
Absolutely.
And full rip.
Absolutely.
And then these are the charging connectors themselves. So you have basically the, well, I guess charging this up before we get into discharging it, charging it up is done through a J1772 AC charging or CCS1 DC charging.
Correct.
And it supports both. Do you know how many amps we can do on AC charging?
On the AC charging, you can go up to an 80 amp.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, it can handle up to an 80 amp.
Yeah, we're planning on putting a couple, you know, full 19.2 kilowatt dispensers right there, which will be cool. So those will be wired 240, 80 amp.
That'll be fine. Yeah.
Okay, great. And then DC charging.
Yeah.
We can pull up to EA with this, or
Correct.
You know.
120.
Okay, cool.
120 in, 120 out.
Oh, nice. So
And
1C.
It's always going to match. Right.
And
exactly.
what's the curve look like? It probably won't pull 120 all the way to 100%, but
Actually, the curve on this one's about 80%.
oh, really?
So, and it starts to curve down, but it's not as aggressive curve as like vehicles and things like that. We kind of got it tuned in to where that curve is a little less aggressive.
Cool. And then, you know, we don't have to worry about temperature. I know I keep asking, but if it's cold outside, LFPs, it'll manage its own temperature.
It does.
Okay.
Yep.
Great. So we can just DC charge it. We don't have to precondition it or anything.
Nope.
And it might just slow down if it needs to, which
Correct.
sounds.
And it'll when you do charge it in, if it doesn't like the temperatures, it'll fix. It'll condition itself to where it nedes to be. So you don't really have to do anything.
Oh, perfect. Well, that makes it super easy.
Okay.
Yeah, show us the charging port. So how do you actually charge a car on this thing?
Yeah. So we'll just open the door up here.
The magic and key component.
Right. Okay.
Oh, nice.
So on here is your CCS1.
I love that you have a gas strut here, though, because the wind, this door would flap around.
Yeah, it's one of those things that we came across through R&D and into testing. We didn't have those. And we got out into an environment where it was windy and the door was flopping around. It's like, okay, that's got to get fixed. So we just put a gas strut in there. That's no big deal.
Perfect. No, that's amazing.
Easy.
And then we have just like a typical CCS1 Amphenol cable here. 200 amps, right, is the output? Yep. Perfect. And that's going to be totally fine for most of our applications.
Sure.
And have you charged running this battery down to 0 before?
No.
Yeah.
No, it'll prevent you from doing it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
so we don't have to like unplug at low SOC.
No, it's smart enough to know it'll keep you out of danger. It'll protect itself.
Well, we're going to be testing all of those use cases. So subscribe to the Out of Spec testing channel where we're going to do, you know, charging curve analysis, see what happens when this hits 0, and a bunch of other stuff, which will be interesting. And then there's an identical port on this side, right?
Yeah.
So what was the idea to put these little latches, the key activation on each thing?
Just to keep people out of them. We've seen a lot of issues where people like to play with things. So the important stuff we want to lock down.
Yeah.
Just keep it locked down.
And if a potential customer wants to order one of these, obviously through a dealer, they could spec CCS, NACS, Chatamo, GBT.
Chatamo, really?
Well, you know, as a Leaf owner, I have to. I'm holding on to the last few strings of Chatamo.
Yes, we can support that.
Yeah, but now we have Chatamo to CCS adapters, so they're expensive.
No,
but
we can do all of it.
Amazing.
Whatever a dealer comes in with, we can do.
So what's the e-stop situation here?
Yeah, you just push it in, right?
Okay.
It's just like an e-stop on a DC fast charger.
Yeah.
If anything is going wrong for any reason, just hit that. It stops the process.
Okay. So hopefully we don't ever need to hit that, but if we do, it's
if
not
you can,
like
it's going to stop the charge.
And then the reset of the e-stop,
Just flip it.
and it auto goes through its self-check.
Yep.
Cool. So it's on right now. How did you actually get it on? How do we turn it off? How does that all work?
Oh, going the wrong way.
Dang.
Okay, there's the load panel. So in the load panel, you got obviously breakers. This is your stack controller. So there's 2 stacks here. So you just flip these stacks on.
And that's the stacks of high voltage batteries.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's And then the pre-charge will blink. And once they're done blinking and they go solid, that means the batteries are good to go. And then as soon as that happens, you can flip on the in-cabinet auxiliary, and that powers up your interfaces and everything.
Okay. So this one turns the batteries on.
Yes.
Once it's solid, then I can flip this one, which turns the screen on.
Correct.
And we're okay to leave this on for a full day or a couple days without shutting it off?
Yeah, if there's no activity on it whatsoever, and it's just sitting there for hours and hours and hours on end, I think it's like 6 hours, it'll
shut off. Yeah. And then how do we just flip the breakers off and then turn them back on?
That's it. Just flip it back on and off. You're good to go.
Cool. So then tell me a little bit about what else we have around here, because this is of interest, the NEMA 1450 outlet and some other stuff.
Yeah. So starting at the bottom here, so the 1450, that's 80 amp. If you want to go direct in without a charger, it's input.
Okay.
It's charged. So if you want to have like a build a suicide cable, whatever you want to go into your
I can't imagine we'd find a NEMA plug more than 50 amps though. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Well, it's got the capability. So
okay, great. That's good.
Okay.
So we've got that uses the same AC inverter that the charging uses, or is it a separate box?
It's a separate.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah, it's a separate one. Yeah, it's a separate one. If you want to use it, then you flip this on, and it'll charge.
Very cool.
I think the use case on that one was for a generator. I think the generators were wanting to use that, so they wanted to plug up in there.
Yeah.
Going up from there, if you're going to charge with the AC/DC, like your level 2,
Yep.
then you want to flip this on.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yep.
That's going to be your converter there.
And when we do charge it, we need to make sure the batteries are on, the interface is on, and then flip this.
Yes. Yep.
And then it will AC charge.
Correct.
Okay.
And then these two up here, this controls your 220, your 110, and your 12 volt. So this gives you 40 amp. That gives you 40 amp, and I have to check on how much that gives you, but I think it's like 20 or 30. Or
okay, but there is a 12-volt bus
there's a 12-volt bus, yeah.
Okay.
That's put in there. We had a request for specific digital lighting and things like that. It was running off 12 volts.
Oh, okay.
There's also some sort of like lighting that they were using. They wanted it, so we kind of added it in there.
I mean, if you've got the buses in there, just let it rip, and then I assume there's a DC to DC that charges the 12-volt battery.
Yeah.
Is there a 12-volt battery in this for low voltage stuff, or is it just a bus?
Yeah, no, it's all down converted.
Wow,
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool, actually.
Yeah, the only batteries that's in it is the big battery set.
And the shutdown procedure. Maybe we can show everyone the shutdown and turn on procedure really quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah, shutting it down.
Okay, so screen's off first.
Yeah.
Got it. Do we wait for this blue light to go out?
No.
Okay.
It's not lit. It just looks.
Oh, it just looks. I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you flip your box controllers off.
And lock it up.
That's all there is to it.
Okay.
That's all there is to it.
And is there any procedure we need to be mindful of when towing this? We can tow it with it on.
You can tow it with it on. There's nothing. You know, when I was first starting off with this, I didn't want to do that because if anything happened on the inside, I don't want things going all over the place.
Yeah.
But as we progress with the engineering and all that, we've got so many safeguards in this thing. It's fine. But yeah, you can tow it around.
Yeah, but
you're gonna get a lot of looks.
Should be to shut it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna get a lot of looks though if you tow it around with lit up.
Yeah.
It's bright.
Oh, really? Okay.
All the indiglo lighting around the top, around the sides. It's a bright.
Right. Okay. Well, that'll be cool to show at nighttime. At the end of this clip, I'll include what it looks like at night. So that'll be really cool. Yeah. So then to power it on, let me go through this really quick. So you've got breaker 1, breaker 2 for the high voltage stacks.
Right.
It's a little bit hard to see in the daytime, but I can see they're both flashing.
Yep.
So once they go solid, how long does that process typically take?
It can take anywhere from 20 seconds up to about a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
Okay. And what exactly are they doing?
It's the BMS communicating with the batteries, and it's basically self-adjusting itself to make sure everything is good to go before you use it.
Sounds good. Will there be an audible contactor click when they go green, or it's just a solid light that we're looking for? Very cool. All right. So we'll give that a couple seconds to go through. There we go, maybe. No, they blink a little slow. Okay, all good. So while that's happening, maybe you can tell us some of the idea behind this step.
Yeah, so we put the step on there because it's up on a trailer, right? I mean, but when you're towing it, you just tuck it over.
Oh, okay, cool.
And it goes away, right?
Wonderful.
But we do include that just in case somebody wants to get up there and actually, get up next to the screen or whatever.
Yeah, sure. Okay, that's a cool idea for sure. And in terms of options, if someone were to buy one, how does that process work? Do they go to you? Do you go through a dealer? What dealers go?
We're the manufacturer, right? So we manufacture these units. We have a dealer network, all right? So dealers that are part of the Charge Rigs network, then they sell the equipment. But because we manufacture it, if there's any specific things that you want on the trailer, maybe a specific thing that is important to you, maybe you want some sort of a NEMA outlet on the trailer itself on the outside, or you want to customize it a little bit for your liking or whatever, we can handle all that.
Okay,
yeah,
very cool. That. So by now I'm guessing these are probably solid.
Yep.
Yeah. And so then what I'll do is I'll kick, boom, in-cabinet auxiliary source controller. Love all the names, that's awesome. So now I can hear some fans kick on, these lights kicked on, and the screen should power up here in a second. And it's just running sort of Android operating system in the back end?
So this is me. I've been in DC fast charging for a very long time.
Yeah.
One of my big things was reliability of DC fast chargers.
Me too.
So throughout my years, I've realized that there's a couple of reasons why DC fast chargers fail. It's not getting the air out, right? Letting the internal components heat up as that conversion process happens in the power modules. Got to get that air out. So airflow is number one reason for failure. And so it's I don't know. Oh, I lost where I was at. Sorry.
Yeah, well, that's okay. But you were discussing why go Android.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, thank you. So the other thing is that the operating system on these, they basically have enough processor to do what the charger needs to be done.
Okay.
Okay. So I look at it like, you've got a machine that's just basically just able to process what it can for what it needs to do. But whenever a machine gets hot, it's going to run slower. Right. So what I decided to do was put a full-on Android gaming tablet in this thing with gigs and gigs of RAM. And I mean, I've played Fortnite on this thing. I mean, the whole 9 yards.
Dang.
Right?
Yeah.
So it has a lot of compute capability. But with that, you get a lot of power. So we can add applications onto it. We use TeamViewer, into it, so we can TeamViewer into it to see exactly what's going on.
So it's all remote connected. You've got cell connectivity to this.
It is, yes.
You can issue software updates.
We do. Mm-hmm.
Okay, very cool. And then you can also get the data from the charging sessions.
We do.
So I might need to borrow that data sometime.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's OCBB compliant.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can use whatever cloud you want to use.
Okay.
Right? You can connect whatever cloud you want to use.
Yeah.
We have access to the unit itself for charging history and things like that. We can see errors, faults, any of that kind of stuff. We can go take a look.
Perfect.
But you can use any cloud you want to and pull your data down.
Great. Yeah. Well, I have like an Autel cloud backend. That's just regular OCPP that I have like a subscription to. So we might throw it on there. At the end of the day, as long as you can see the data from this as well, that's what I care about. Because we're going to plug in a bunch of random cars to this. So it might be good to get some prototype testing and interop stuff as well.
So here's the cool thing with that. So this is very interesting. I have the firmware. I wrote some of the firmware with the CCS.
Yeah.
Okay. So the interface and the talking back and forth to the car and all that.
Yeah.
If you encounter a vehicle that is not charging properly, or it's hit and miss, or a little intermittent, it usually means that the communication's a little out of spec. What we can do is we can actually remote into it. I can go onto the CCS communication interface and watch it.
Okay.
I can tell you exactly what it's doing and why.
Yeah.
We had a couple incidents. I'm not going to mention the manufacturer, but this particular vehicle would not charge on a US DC fast charger.
Okay.
They took it to many, many, many different manufacturers. I had them roll up to one of these, and I said, plug in, let me see what you're doing. And I found out exactly what they're doing.
Okay.
I was actually able to go into our firmware and just say, hey, if he's doing this, he means this, kind of make a little bit of a change, and voila, he was charging.
Amazing.
But I said, that's temporary, that ain't gonna work.
Sure.
You gotta go fix your deal. But
well, I've got this Chevy Spark here that we used in a recent series that won't charge on half the chargers we plug it into. So we got to charge that and see if that works.
Absolutely.
But we'll also, actually, Kayla, could you grab your i3? Could you pull that around? Let's see if it charges the i3 really quick, because that's here, so that'll be cool. And then to actually go ahead and initiate the charging process, we tap screen, so it's all touch screen.
Right.
Is it just set up in a plug-in charge, or do we need to hit
So for this, it can be set up however a particular customer would want it set up. We can throw on, it's got the RFID cards, we could throw on a credit card reader, we could do anything you want to do. For this particular setup, I just set it to auto charge, just the way it's not.
That's kind of what we were
just to make it
thinking,
simple.
Yeah, we're never going to use this. We're not this is not a public charger.
Right.
So, it's
just wanted to make it simple.
Yeah. So, dude, I really can't thank you enough for bringing this up and letting us play around with it. And, we're going to do plenty of updates and testing on our testing channel. So subscribe to Out of Spec Testing. This thing's going to be dragged all over the place. Is there anything we need to know about, it's registered, we can put miles on it?
Yes, everything's registered, everything's good to go. We made sure that was all taken care of before we brought it up here.
We're definitely going to bring it to events, let people charge on it, try it out, and make sure it gets out there. I mean, it's really cool that Out of Spec has, I know you're not a big social media guy, but it's such a big deal for us to be able to borrow something like this for a long period of time. So thank you very much for bringing it up, and we'll make sure everyone gets to see it. And we're going to go charge on it for the first time. So Kayla's grabbing her i3.
Okay, great.
We'll try that out. Then I think we need to try the Spark. I want to know if this can charge the Spark.
Let's give it a try.
We might need to do some custom configuration for that.
Okay.
Then we'll try the Leaf with the CHAdeMO adapter. That'll be interesting, because that's also a weird bug communication-wise.
Yeah.
And then we'll charge something that can actually take 120 kilowatts. Alyssa's e-tron's back there. So then we'll max this thing out. So we've got some charging to do. So wait a second, we'll bring some cars over and plug them in. The i3 is over here from the Fizz. Kayla brought it over. Thanks, Kayla. And let's go. Let me move the water bottle so I don't take it out. Gonna plug this thing in, see if it works. Should be cool. Well, guys, it's time for the first charge of the Charge Rigs. We got to come up with a name for this thing. We always name our stuff. I don't know what we would name this. Kevin is one of our DC chargers because it looks like Kevin the Minion. I don't know. If you have any good naming suggestions, leave it down below. Sometimes names just never come. Sometimes they do. So I'm not going to hit anything on the screen. I'm just going to plug in and see what happens. The i3 is at 50% state of charge. Again, this is a pretty low power charging vehicle, so I'm not expecting much to happen. Let's take a look over here. Oh, it says charging station starting. Super cool. Oh, and we can see the battery pack in here is at 80% state of charge. I love that you go to the second decimal point, so 80.59. Hell
Well,
yeah.
you need to squeeze every bit out as you can.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Nerd data. Is there like a secret nerd menu in here where we could see like battery pack voltages and stuff?
There is.
Oh yeah? Okay. Show us off camera.
Okay.
How we can get into all
Yep.
that. Because then I'd like to show the viewers. Dude, awesome. So Kayla, come take a look at this. We've got fans just kicked on. We're ramping up on charging performance right now. Yep, 3.8, it'll work its way up. I'm guessing this is some kind of charging curve display. Paul, what is this screen supposed to be? Let's see. So yeah, here we go, ramping up. So we'll go into B.
Go into your graph.
What is this one here?
Yeah, it'll show the graph. It's got to get a little bit of data.
Oh, okay, so it might be a little bit too fresh in the session. And then this right here is BMS of, oh, if you could read from the car then, which it's not communicating typically, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So what was the idea to put this here? Because that's kind of cool.
CCS2.
Ah, okay. So different protocols might tell you a little bit more. That's pretty neat. And we're doing maximum charging performance that the i3 can do right there as well. I'd love to see voltage and amperage of the output as well. So maybe in a software update, you could add, you know, kilowatts, but then maybe a nerdier menu to say, okay, volts, amps. And that's a good way for us to actually know the voltage, the operating voltage of the car that we're plugged into.
It's interesting. Okay,
which, you know, and this is a 1,000-volt output capable, right?
Yeah.
So we can natively charge high voltage vehicles. Yeah. So we'll see how that graph goes later on when it gets some more data. But the i3, dude, first charge in the unit. Hell yeah, that's epic. And we're pulling the Spark around now. It should be here any second.
Cool.
Because that, the viewers who have watched our 5 grand Fizz series knows like it's 50-50. It does not follow the CCS spec. And GM said they'll never update it. So, but it charges your Hummer, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, even General Motors DC chargers, like the EVgo ones, they don't charge the Spark. And it's a Chevy product. So we'll see if this works. If not, maybe we can come up with a plan.
Oh, we can make it work.
I'd love to see it. Love to see it.
Absolutely.
Because I'd love to do a Spark racing series here. I kind of want to buy like 10 to 30 of them and do like a, you know, spec Spark racing series.
That sounds good. Okay.
But this thing's ripping on the i3. It's following its internal charging curve perfectly. And yeah, all is good.
Awesome. You can kind of tell that it's charging too if you're away from it, especially at night. The blue the top turns blue.
Oh, okay.
When it's charging, and then it obviously tells you which connector is charging on here. So
okay, so this one's a green. Oh, I see.
Yeah,
okay, so
available.
that's for each charging connector, and then the blue says we're in a charging
unit
state.
is charging. Yes.
Okay. Very cool. Well, thanks so much for getting us to charge around here. This is sick.
All right.
It's I don't know where the Spark is, but it should be here any second. It's time to charge the old Spark. Now, this is always the ultimate test for a DC fast charger because this car does not follow the DIN spec for CCS charging properly. This is before ISO 15118 was ever a thing. This is old school CCS right here. So what I'm going to do is pull the connector out here. The i3 just charged up like, you know, from 50 to 70% in no time, which was great. So I've unplugged the i3, not that we needed to. You can charge 2 cars at once. How many kilowatts is it if we do 2 cars at once? It's 60-60?
60-60 split.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it dynamically?
It does.
Okay. And do you know
10 kilowatt.
Oh, that's really good granularity. That's awesome. All right, now it's time for the ultimate test. Will the Charge Rigs charge the Spark? In we go. Let's see what the charger says. It says charging station starting. This would be amazing. You're confident.
I'm pretty confident.
Let's see if it does. Charging station starting.
No.
Yep, no, didn't love it.
No, I didn't.
BMS communication abnormality.
It couldn't communicate with the vehicle.
Yep,
right.
That is a Spark issue.
Yeah.
So,
okay, cool.
well, there we go. Now
we now know
we've
that
met
it's
its
way out
ultimate
of spec.
match. It is way out of spec, absolutely. So there's that. I think it'd be cool to try the Leaf with the CHAdeMO adapter and the e-tron to show it doing some big power.
Yeah, great.
And so what we'll do is the Leaf has a tire off the wheel. A tire should be here later today because we were ripping it a little too hard on the track.
We can always take the trailer to the car.
That's what we're going to do. Yeah, we'll move this over. So I'll wrap the cables up, get it all tidied up. We'll see it move about 7 feet that way, and then we'll try charging the Leaf.
Perfect.
All right, guys, it's now time to see if our A to Z charging adapter will work. This is, we used this a bunch in the 5 grand Fizz. Essentially, this is CCS to CHAdeMO. Extra complicated because this has to do the communication, basically translation. So this is a powered adapter. These are not cheap. Really cool unit, powered by a 18650 cell. And so it has to take in the CCS communication, translate it to single wire CAN for CHAdeMO, and then charge the Leaf. And here we've got the Leaf Limo. I think it's at a reasonably low state of charge. So let's grab the CCS cable and see if we can get this thing to start charging. I don't know. It works on, it's kind of like the Spark. It's kind of hit or miss, and it's really not even to do with the Charge Rigs charger. It's more to do with the communication in here, which has been getting software updates. So I've clicked the communication box. The Leaf has not been turned on in a while, so it might actually need to be woken up from a deep sleep. So I've just, I don't know if I have the key. I thought I brought the key over. Oh yeah, the key's over there. Does it even know it's plugged in yet?
No.
Yeah, the Leaf might be asleep. This thing's been sitting here for a couple weeks. Let's wake it up real quick, see if that'll spark some life into it. There we go. All right, so it's got enough 12 volt to power it up. Oh, it's pretty high on charge level at the moment. Nope, just reset. We still have the second battery connected into it. I forgot about that. Alex said we shouldn't leave it connected for too long, so it might be a ticking time bomb, I'm not sure. All right, so let's get all this plugged in, resituated. Okay, so that's in on the Leaf side, in on the charger side. Turn the adapter on. It's now trying to see if it can communicate. The car has no idea nothing's plugged in. Did that change anything on the charging side?
No.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like more of the adapter just being a little confusing, and also the car maybe in a deep sleep state. I'll play around with this.
Okay, yeah, play with it and see.
Yeah,
I can always go into the controller to see what I see in there, and then be able to issue a mod or whatever.
Holy smokes, we're actually, I think, getting the Leaf to charge. And what happened was this area of the building has no cell signal. Over there, there is cell signal. And we just hooked this up to Wi-Fi to get it some service. But Paul, you said we can run this thing out in the middle of nowhere. It's a setting.
We'll just set it up that way to where you don't have to. It's just for reporting purposes.
Dude, and it does charge the Leaf. No way. That's awesome. So power modules are spinning up. That's epic. So we can do Leaf stuff out in the middle of nowhere with our A to Z adapter. And it was just that the charger was looking for a connection because it's set up to sort of get authorized from the cloud. But Paul will issue us a software update so we can just have it free vend even with no connection, which is perfect for when we go into the mountains or need to charge on this side of the... Okay, it's time. Charging up the Tron, and it's running with AC on at the moment with keep climate function activated. So, oh, got a little hung up on the trailer there. All good.
I think I want to rip this off.
Yeah, that little port, it's supposed to stay down when you put it down. It's just this one broke. So automatically, now that we're on Wi-Fi, goes into starting charge. And those are good noises, 69%. And it is ramping up on charging power. Boom, right up there. That was not even a ramp. That was just a rip. And we're doing about 80 kilowatts on this thing, which is kind of exactly what we were hoping for, right in that region. So very, very happy with that. And it could be a little car limit as well, because it was in the air-conditioned room. But it's coming up, 82. No, there we go. Full rip. 85. Dang. Love to see it. That's probably full 200 amps right there. But that's why we need to get volts and amps so we can see how close we are. Paul already knows. He's going to work on that for us. That'll be sick. And a cloud cover comes over. So nice. That was amazing. Guys, we're out on the track and Paul's in the Hummer, and we've got Alyssa in the back with the trailer, sitting our first lap with it. Not that it's really designed to do lap times, but dude, it tows super nice. We hit a couple bumps, went through the S's, feels solid.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time designing that trailer, so it's good and solid and secure.
Yeah, feels like it. And now, is this the first racetrack one of the trailers have been on?
Yeah.
Nice, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So this is, you know, a great road course, and this is why we need it, because we're going to burn a lot of batteries very quickly out here.
Oh, yeah.
And this will be a great way to charge up after doing some hot laps. Well, guys, we're out here on track. We brought the trailer around, and really curious to see in the comments what you think we should do with this thing. Obviously, we've got space, and now we have mobile recharging that we can do high-powered DC charging. Super thrilled with this solution. This is absolutely awesome. So we're going to bring it probably to where we're going to keep it, which will be at the timing building over there, because this is primarily where we're going to need to DC charge stuff, I would imagine, is ripping on track, then going to plug in. So we'll drop the trailer. We're actually going to charge up the Hummer a little bit as well. And then I think we just got to do a quick cheeky lap in the Hummer and just have some fun with this thing without the trailer, because that'll be hilarious. So let's get some juice in the Hummer, then we'll do one lap, and then Paul's got to get back to Florida. So that'll be really fun. Well, we're back up at the building. We're going to drop the trailer here for a minute and then charge up the Hummer, which will be cool. Maybe get a little quick snack.
Snacky snack.
Quick cool off. It's hot out here.
I need like a Gatorade. I need some electrolytes. The water's not doing it right now.
Yeah, you look like you're crashing.
I'm used to the heat. This is swamp weather. I feel like I'm in a swamp.
It's pretty bad.
It's really bad.
It's really bad out here. But how sick is this charger? Can you believe this?
I mean, the fact that, just leaving it here, it'll get a lot of good advertising, that's for sure. I mean, it's going to be in a lot of videos, so that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, not sponsored. We're not paying them. He's not paying us. But I feel like it's a perfect exchange. It's so cool just to be able to have our own freaking DC charger on wheels. We've been needing this.
This is Big Kevin.
Big Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got little Kevin, big Kevin.
Big Kevin.
I love it. And he said we're cool to sticker it up if we want to, but we're really bad with logos and graphics.
Maybe we'll put, if we find one of our stickers, which there might be some hanging around, we'll slap one on there.
Yeah, put in a couple out of spec stickers on this thing. Would be cool. Nice. Dude, one heck of a unit right here. This is a nice coupling, 2 5/16. Awesome. And yeah, you said this thing's like 6,000 pounds-ish?
Yeah, this one, the 120. Yes.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Perfect.
Well, let's plug in the Hummer. The air suspension's all jacked up from having the weight on the rear. It's dropping. I can hear it purging. There it goes. Cool. Well, we'll get her charging up now that we know how to do this. Oh, wait, I've got the keys in my pocket. Or we can use this thing.
Like the keys from Squid Games.
Whoa, pops open there.
Squid Game. People would know if you know the reference. The Squid Game key.
I've never seen it. This thing is just the freaking coolest. I love the light bar on the roof. That is epic. We've got charging port right there. DC charger right here. And Paul, this will be the last time you use this one for a minute, so I'll let you plug it in. Yeah, here we go. Pull that out like that. So we're in and we're starting because we're connected to Wi-Fi. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be good when we get this thing in an offline mode. That'll be really...
Yeah, give me a few days on that.
Yeah, a few days. That's amazing. Most people would be like, 6 months, multiple meetings. Paul's like, I'll get it fixed this week.
Not when all the software's on my laptop, right?
I love it. That is so cool. That is insane speed. So we'll let her juice up. The Hummer just went into high fan speed, so it knows it's getting connected. It looks so great. It's just beeped. It's doing the charging started, and we're ramping. And we actually should see some pretty big charging power on this because the Hummer is relatively high voltage. I say relatively when it goes into double pack configuration, but looks like it's wanting 77-ish kilowatts. All good. And yeah, we'll see if it ramps up anymore. But for now, we'll just dump some juice into the Hummer, and then I'll charge this thing up later on today. There we are, 112 kilowatts as the power modules come on. Love to see it. All right, guys. Well, I just brought the trailer down here, track side. You can see the timing building and tracks just over there. Just towed it down here with the Super Duty. And we have a 208. Actually, it might even be 240. I think it's 208 though. NEMA 1450 that I can plug an EVSE into, like a mobile charging cable, and I can top it up. Trailer sitting at 68% state of charge. I'm not going to be here for the next day or so, so that works pretty well. We'll do a calibration charge on it up to 100% this weekend, and then we'll be ripping on this thing all the way through. So absolutely thrilled with the Charge Rigs FLEXX 120 charger. I think you know, certain dealers sell them. I know Nova Charge does. There's a few others as well. And yeah, if you find any good dealers, or if you happen to buy one of these and find like a great dealer to work with, let me know. Maybe we can have a recommendation that way. For now, I don't know which dealers to work with. We've dealt with Charge Rigs, who's the manufacturer of this. But regardless, what a cool unit. Great to have this as a demo. And, you know, again, having DC charging trackside is just a game changer. So if you're coming to an autocross here or a track day, or you're coming to visit us or whatever, we'll now be able to top you up quickly. And this is a great placeholder until our high power charging permanent comes in, because we've got to upgrade some transformers and stuff. So thrilled with it. thanks to Charge Rigs for bringing it all the way up here and letting us have it for a year or maybe even longer. You never know. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on another one again soon. Bye-bye.